Hello friends and welcome to what has become a long overdue sketchbook tour. I finished this sketchbook at the end of July and it is now October 12th. So yes, overdue. I did get married a few weeks ago and I have had a super busy summer, so that's my excuse. But anyways, I'm gonna do this sketchbook tour in a bit of an unconventional way. I want to start very close to the end for a few reasons. The first reason is because the title is inspired by many of the pages in this part of the book. If you came here because of the title, I want the stuff that is related to the title, aka the BIRBS, to be what come up first. Also, I think it'll be really cool to kind of see, I really hit this sketching art practice stride at this point in the sketchbook, and I just really want to showcase that first because just statistically more people watch the beginning of the video than the end, and so I want to show that part off first rather than like hoping that people stick around to see this part at the end that's so juicy that I'm so excited to share. I know it doesn't need to be said, I just feel like I need to say it. I have a philosophy that sketchbooks are a messy place, a place for ideas to be born, a place to throw perfectionism out the window as I actively try and work on that in my everyday life and use my sketchbook as a tool for that. So there's some ugly stuff in this sketchbook, and do not judge me as an artist because of what you see in this book. Not that I think you would, but I'm mostly saying it so that if anybody decides to say something mean, I can say, well, I warned you. Before we dive in, I will also tell you that this is a Talon's Art Creations sketchbook. These have been my go-to lately. They're such a nice, fairly good quality sketchbook for a really, really good price. I've seen lots of people using these lately for good reason. My newest one actually is also just like the vertical version of this one. So big fan. Would recommend. Quickly tell you about stickers. This is from a local friend of mine, Robot Sweater. This is from Debbie Draws Funny. This is from Peach Bee Art. That's Parker, he says hello. This is from my friend Hannah, it's Han's Studio. This is from, her name is Amy. I'm gonna put her handle up here because I can't remember her handle right now, sorry Amy. And this is also Debbie Draws Funny. Okay, without further ado, let's dive in. So I got super into drawing birds this summer. I've always loved drawing birds, but I got extra drawing into birds, I guess. So what I started doing that I really loved is there's this app called Merlin Sound ID where you can use it to identify birds. The way I did these pages was I just take the app out and see what birds would come up with the sound ID, so it would listen and see what was around in the place where I was sitting, and then I would just sit and sketch the birds that I could hear, which was so lovely, such a nice way to kind of like sit and sketch in nature and like get to know some of the birds that I didn't necessarily know as well. But that's kind of where this started. These were the first pages where I did that, and I've done that quite a few times since, and it's just a really lovely time. These are done with I started out with like pencil sketches and then added like watercolor and like waterproof pen on top. I love this spread. This is maybe my favorite one in the sketchbook. This one, the Merlin Bird ID app, also has a function where it will give you a bird of the day. So this was a day where I think I did this from my backyard and I was like, well, it's just gonna be the same birds again. So I decided to just draw the bird of the day this time. And then this is it in different like pose variations. I really like how it came out with me doing like the pencil for the basic sketch and then doing the watercolor and then adding the details on top. It kind of, and then there's spots where like the colors kind of like spill outside of where the final lines end up being. I think it looks really cool. And I just love the way I like mixed the watercolors together in here. It just, this page in particular, I think turned out really beautiful. So the bird of the day on July 1st was the northern shoveler, and then on July 4th it was a tree swallow. And then this was my birthday sketches, so you might recognize some of this stuff from if you watched my like recent birthday video. This was a slice of the birthday cake that I was given at my work, and this is like a goofy little drawing and then painting of a picture of me with that cake. On the night before my birthday we went to see Shaky Graves. This was like the sign at the venue. I love the way I used the watercolor on this page too, like to do the background, and this at the top I want to do more like multicolored scalloped edges like that. That's really cute. I really love this page too. This one kind of just started with like little doodles of like, this was the box of chocolates Kelsey got for my birthday and the mug he got me. This was the cake my mom made me, and with the flowers that my friend got me, and then I just kind of added in little doodles of flowers I've been liking drawing lately. This was just a test page with new supplies. I did these pages in that same video I was just talking about, so I won't say too much about these, but I will link the video to go watch that one if you're curious more about these pages. This is Penny, my lab Penny. I got her. She's a lab, so she loves fetching things. She's like inherently a retriever, and so she likes to have things. She likes to hold things. So she has her babies that she carries around the house, and I found a giant like strawberry plush toy that I knew she would love and would be so cute watching her carry it around, and I was right. And so this page is inspired by that. Where's your straw baby? Where's your baby? Good girl. This is another one of my favorite pages in the sketchbook. I kind of want to turn this into a sticker sheet or something maybe. I already used these elements to make kind of like a designed visual thing for my Instagram stories. So I really like the way I use the watercolors in here. And the types of flowers. And this was a new watercolor palette I bought myself for my birthday, and I love these colors together. More burp friends, I believe also sourced from like what I could hear on Merlin Sound ID. I don't love the mix of colors in this one as much. I think it's too many different colors. I really like that, and I like the things on this page separately, just not together. This was sketches from the calves that we met at the D. Dutchman Dairy Farm in Sicamous on our BC trip this year. This was like a drawing. I'm very not good at drawing people, but that's okay. This is another test page. I bought myself some new paint markers for doing my polymer pens and magnets with. So I was testing them all out, seeing how it worked, like adding layers of pencil on top of them and stuff, and just getting like a test of all the colors. This is not my favorite spread at all. I think it's kind of ugly, but it got the job done. I got to test my new supplies. I love these. I think I also will probably turn these into something. I'm glad I'm doing this now because I forgot about this page and that I wanted to do something with it, but these, I think a lot of these would make cute stickers potentially. And then that's the end of the book with some more kind of ugly little doodles and sketches, but I tested out my new One Gal Studio stamp back here. Very fun. Okay, so that was the last little bit of the sketchbook because I really liked a lot of those pages. I really liked kind of the flow I had with them. So now we'll go back to the beginning and you can see the contrast of like what my style looked like back in, I didn't check when I started this. It was about a year earlier. It took me about a year to finish this sketchbook. The beginning of this book was done with this little palette that I bought when I was in BC last summer of 2023. It's from Beam Paints and it's one of my favorite paint palettes. It's just beautiful to look at, and I love the colors are really nice. A lot of them are kind of outside of my usual color palette, but it's really fun to kind of get outside of my comfort zone in terms of color with when I pull out this palette, because they all look nice together. It's just very different from my usual colors. I don't know what was happening here. I think I just like used up some extra paint and then doodled on top of it. I don't know. These were fun. This is Caran d'Ache Neocolor 2 pastels. I had just bought those, and this is just pages of me playing with those, like experimenting with doing just like the dry pastel versus adding water on top and then adding more of the dry pastel for more texture on top. So there's like a really fun variety of color going on in here, and color and style, even with all using the same medium. This was fun. I believe, oh no, I was gonna say this was so this just started out as like, I was trying to play with negative space. I ended up filling that star in, but this turned into something that I made onto like a canvas painting. See if I can find a picture of that. But I really like the way these colors work together, like these blues and this like ochre yellow. Very pretty. This was my friend and I believe, or maybe I did this one by myself. This is just like practicing figure drawing on line of action. I don't normally draw men's butts in my sketchbook unless I'm doing figure drawing. More cow sketches, I think also inspired by a trip to Sicamous. We did that trip 2 years in a row. These were purely like colored pencil sketches. This is a picture of Kelsey and Penny that I really love. And then this is, I'm really proud of this drawing of, this is my parents' dog Dexter, and he actually passed away a couple months after this, so I'm glad I captured him here that day. These were drawings of when I was at the Canmore Folk Fest to play with Kaylee Jade. I think I was just drawing all the guitars that were on stage when we were watching someone else play. This was a landscape that I never came back to. More figure drawing. And then this was the Edmonton Folk Fest, which is a week later. This is Kaylee and Gab on the stage. You can see like the Folk Fest banner, and this is just like a really quick sketch like while they were playing. That's why it's kind of like unfinished and really messy. I don't know what this snail is, but it's kind of cute. More random sketching, just like, I think, what was I using for this? Looks like a really fine marker of some kind. I'm not sure, to be honest. It might be these guys. I think it might be these Stabilo markers. I really like the way that I added in shading with lighter shades of the same marker here. Some weird doodles. This was an idea I had for an approach I wanted to take to doing some studies. See, this is why I love doing sketchbook tours so much, because I completely forgot about this, and now that I'm doing this, I remember this idea. I was kind of looking at Monet pieces and picking out colors and kind of trying to like mimic it a little bit to kind of get thoughts and ideas from it. I might try and come back to this idea. I believe this watercolor is that same palette I showed a minute ago. Some mushroom sketches, cause me. And then this was an interesting, like a sketching practice using marker. It was an interesting way to approach like practicing sketching a person. I think it turned out pretty decent, like it looks like a person. And then these are some nice flowers. I think I must have gone back in after and added the watercolor background. Sometimes I do that if like there's a sketchbook page that I'm not really happy with how it looks. I'll just go back in after with watercolor, because then it kind of brings the whole thing together and it's nicer to look at. I'm pretty sure that's what happened here. I love this guy. He was fun. I think this one, yeah, this one had the watercolor down first, and then I was just listening to a podcast about T-Rexes, so I drew a T-Rex. These are also flowers using the same watercolor paints, but I feel like I didn't finish this and didn't feel inspired to come back to it or something. Some pencil sketches of like, I think probably just reference photos I found, like the crushed can. I vaguely remember seeing that picture somewhere. This is the corner of my living room. And then that is a duck. Okay, this is Scribble Brigade. This was Barbie themed. And I used all marker for this one too, which is a really good exercise for, like, I tend to really rely on pencil and trying to like lay light lines down for my general shapes, but it's good practice sometimes to just like commit to marker and like not be able to change it and like work with it from there. So I try and do that sometimes. This was an exercise I have kind of fallen out of practice with. The last few times I've done it, I haven't really enjoyed myself very much, where you like make a blob and then you have to decide how to figure out a way to fill the blob with something that makes sense, but like this, none of this really speaks to me. I think I started to really get in the habit of like, if I had extra paint from a project, I would just come splash it into my sketchbook and then put something on top of it later. This was obviously last fall, because I have transitioned into the fall colors. I really love this pumpkin, the way that like texture came through in there, and this, yeah, this pumpkin jumps out to me, but the rest of this page is kind of unexciting. Oh, I love these. These are cute. Nice fall colors. Some weird sketches of Penny. I have, over the years I've had her, like, been trying to get better at drawing her. It's hard to capture her essence in my like cartoony style without losing too much of her personality, but it's been a fun challenge getting better at drawing her. Like a little grid-based sketch with cute things in all the boxes. Didn't feel particularly inspired by this. Still don't. I really love monochromatic blue, like things that just use all different shades of blue. So I was working with that. Drawing crows, I think this was when I started drawing a lot of crows for practice, because the idea for my Crow Boy sticker came to be, and then I was like, I need to practice crows so I can figure out how I want to draw him for the sticker. Some wolves, wintry themed sketching. Trying to play around with using different colors for different levels of shading. This was Peachtober last year, just like playing around with the prompts and seeing what I can come up with. I used this for a Valentine's Day card. I love this idea too. It's kind of hard to see, it's really messy, but there's a girl in the nest like with her coffee cup and a candle reading a book. I like that idea too. I like the way that this little nest looks too. Yeah, this is very brainstormy, messy page. Oh, this was for, I drew some like Halloween-y themed jam jars. This is the composition that I ended up going with. More blue. I watched a YouTube video, I cannot remember who it was, that just did a lot of like really wobbly lines, just like using a paintbrush, and I just really liked the idea of doing line work like that, so I was kind of playing around with that. This is cool. I love the line on the outside and then the colors on the inside, and using a paintbrush to letter gives like a really cool look. Mushrooms, because mushrooms are cool. What medium was this? It looks like these are all just colored pencil, trying different fonts, that's cute. And then this looks like some kind of marker, maybe alcohol marker, because it's seeped through the page, and I don't know. I don't love this color palette. It doesn't quite like resonate with me. Some sketching of like very cottagecore things I saw on Instagram with marker. And then this was like folk art Christmas was like what I was going for here, which is interesting actually because it's getting close to Christmas season this year, and I've been kind of trying to figure out how to incorporate a folk art vibe into the stuff I want to make for Christmas this year, so I'm gonna actually flag this page to come back to it. This was another Scribble Brigade. These were all 30-second sketches of like seeing a street view scene and trying to just get the general composition really quick, really good practice, but doesn't really make for a very pretty looking sketchbook page. Same thing over here, except these were each started with 1 minute and then it went up to 5 minutes. But yeah, even with that amount of time, still very loose, messy sketches. This was another round of figure drawing with my friend Rob. This was fun because I remember like not long afterwards, he referred back to like when we did this as like our naked date or something, and I was like, excuse me? And then I was like, oh yeah, when we drew naked people. I love when I actually sit down and spend time doing like figure drawing work, because I always feel like by the time I get to the end, like I'm actually like, I get into a groove and I can see myself improving. I just don't feel very motivated to do figure drawing very often. I think because it doesn't inspire me to look back at it in my sketchbook. It's like, it's practice, but it doesn't like, it's good practice, but it doesn't make for pretty sketchbook pages. And maybe I should just start doing it on like loose paper and just getting rid of it after, because and if there is something I want to keep, I can add it to my sketchbook. See, great ideas just coming back to me. Oh, okay, yeah, that was the same session, but then, yeah, this is when Dexter passed away. I wanted to do some more drawing of him. I actually prefer the one I did of him back before, but the reason why I was practicing drawing him is because I did a little piece of my dad and him together, which I can put on the screen, and I wanted to practice drawing him a bit first. Oh yeah, here is the sketch of that. This is where the sketch started. This is what the sketch started as, and then that's the final piece. And then these are my dogs, this Parker and Penny. Kind of weird drawings, but I, again, just threw in some watercolor in the background to distract from the fact that I didn't really like how the sketches turned out. I do want to just say also that like, there's some of these pages, I have just flipped past some of them because they're so ugly I don't feel comfortable sharing them, but I think it's important to share imperfect artwork because we all need to be reminded that like we all make imperfect artwork and it's all part of the journey of like getting better at art. So here's my kind of ugly artwork. This is when I was brainstorming how I wanted my new packaging for my orders to look like. I ended up kind of going with this purpley color palette, although I really love the red. I'm always kind of like weird, like in this weird place because my logo is centered around like the red mushroom head of myself that I drew, but I'm kind of moving away from a color palette that's like my core color palette that fits that red, so I'm having a hard time figuring out how to keep that logo and make everything work together, but everything kind of just figures itself out, I find, with time. This is where I've been trying to do more There's a few things I did here that I really like. So one thing is that I want to just get in the habit of like visual journaling more often. So this is a sketch of a picture I took at my friend's birthday. Oh, I wrote that the way I structured this page was inspired by Katie Moody on Instagram. And then these are some dried flowers that I bought myself. And then this is the wax seals. The other thing that I did that I wanted to integrate into my sketchbooks more is like adding like three-dimensional things, like things that I just save from real life, like tickets and flowers and like things like this, just like putting them in my sketchbook because it acts as kind of like a journal as well. So yeah, I like what's happening here. I want to do more of that. I like this font too is cute. This is a goofy little sketch of me and my online art friends, a little art call. This is another sketch of a picture. This is a landscape that I have saved on Pinterest that I've drawn several times landscapes are such a weakness for me. I just like feel very demotivated by them, but I so badly want to feel like I can draw landscapes in a way that I am happy with. Bears, oh my. This is a tattoo artist I follow on Instagram. I really want to tattoo from them. Yeah, they have really cool style. He's drawing bears in like a million different ways. This is Maple from Animal Crossing. She's my favorite Animal Crossing animal. More kind of ugly pages. I do love these strawberries. That's an idea to come back to. I have grabbed these flags. I'm gonna start flagging stuff that I wanna return to. So that's gonna be facing backwards. Oh well. Some little folk art inspired birds. This turned into designs that I ended up using for my folk art pins that I had at Folk Fest. This was inspired by the color palette, or maybe, I can't remember which came first, but I have a print that is very like a better version of what's going on here. So this was either like brainstorming before or kind of trying to work with the same idea because I really loved how it came out. This was all paint marker, just trying to get playful with like different mediums I don't normally go in my sketchbook with. Went for the like monochromatic blue with the colors I had in Posca. More of kind of the same, just this is a page of very ugly testing markers. And this was like me trying to figure out how I wanted to make my price tags for, I sell some of my stuff in a shop called The Maker's Keep and everything has to have a SKU and a price on it, so I had to figure out the layout of my price tags. Oh, I love these. I scanned these and did some stuff with these a while ago. These snowdrops, they were practice for Bring On Spring. Oh yeah, we're getting into Bring On Spring territory now. So Bring On Spring is an art challenge I host every April with my friends Pandora and Neela, and so we do a pair of prompts for every 3 days. So April 1st to 3rd was Egg and Violet, so that was me playing around with those ideas. I ended up doing kind of an Easter design that I'm gonna have as an Easter card this upcoming Easter because the illustration came out on Easter last year, so I'll actually sell it as a card this year. It's a good reminder to make sure that's ready to go in my shop. I like to take all of the prompt pairs and practice kind of like integrating them together and seeing the ideas I can come up with. I feel like I skipped some because Egg and Violet was 1 to 3, and then I'm missing whatever 4 to 6 and 5 to... what the heck? 1 to 3, 4 to 6. Okay, I'm just missing 4 to 6 then, whatever that was. But anyways, Hills and Clouds, some sketches of that. I did not end up like the final piece I ended up with for that. Rhubarb and Bug. I liked my little bug guy, but again, that wasn't my favorite piece. This was just inspired by something I saw in one of Debbie Draws Funnies videos. Cute little flower guys. I want to do something like, make a little sticker sheet of little guys like this or something. 13 to 15 was Bear and Pink. I really love the piece I ended up with. It's kind of like this, but I'll put it here. Also, I feel like I hit a stride. Like my first couple Bring On Spring pieces were meh, and then from here onwards. That happens every year. I always dislike my first few pieces and then I get into a rhythm. Sunflower House turned out really cute. Sprout and Dew. What did I end up doing for this one? I can't picture the piece off the top of my head right now. Deer and Hyacinth was another landscape that was a big learning process, but glad I did it. Glad I learned. Yellow and Birdhouse, my final piece ended up looking a lot like this, and I really love how it turned out. I really like the way the contrast of the pencil sketch with the gouache around it. That's really fun. I really like that. Moon and Snowdrop, I really love how this piece turned out as well. That was the last one. I was really obsessed with this illustrator. I mean, I still love their work. I was just going through like a massive phase of like being obsessed with their style. This was me like very closely copying things that they drew and then trying to like turn it into my own version without like not copying exactly, but like kind of trying to borrow the style, but then doing an original drawing, if that makes sense. This was when we were in Newfoundland in April. I actually made a really fun vlog of that experience. I'll put the video up for you to watch if you're interested. It was a really, really fun time. It's kind of just like a travel vlog, kind of different from my usual stuff. Just playing with Posca markers, got some new colors, trying colors together, struggling with landscapes as usual. More little flower guys, kind of expanding on that idea. This was me trying to come up with ideas for polymer pins that were like a basic shape, but that I could, like what the designs could be on the inside. This has very much evolved into like a thing that I make now, so it's fun to look back on it and see where it started. Oh, I love these pages. I think I shared a picture of this one on my Instagram feed. This was very, like this side of it was like very closely copied from something I saw on Pinterest, and then again like I tried to copy here but then like not look at it as much and like make it my own over here. And a lot of these actually turned into stickers on a sticker sheet that I have now.
Chickens! Look at all those chickens.
This is an idea for a birthday card I should come back to. Yeah, I'm gonna write that down too. This was trying to redraw my logo, which I eventually did do successfully. It doesn't look like any of these cute strawberries. I really like the mixed media that's going on here. This is a really cute page. Might be worth scanning and doing something with. I don't remember if I scanned this one or not. It's probably even hard to see on the camera because I just used pencil, but I was trying to brainstorm ideas for wedding cards, and both of these actually did turn into cards that I did make. But not the prettiest pages. Landscape struggling once again. This was that same picture from before. Trying it again, and then this was a landscape including a little house, which is pretty cute. I'm trying to get better at using negative space. I find it really hard. And then bugs. This was playing with Caran d'Ache pastels, which I love them as a medium, but I have more colors that I like now, but at the time I only had like really bold primary colors that weren't my favorites. So glad I've gotten some more like neutral colors to work with. I like this idea. This is fun. I love a checkerboard. Been using checkerboard for everything lately. This is such a random page of things. This was fun. These pages, these were drawings of like screenshots from a vlog for drawing practice of myself. Maybe one day I'll like how I draw people. Maybe one day. And then these were sketches from, we went on a big group trip out to this beautiful cabin a couple hours away for a joint bachelorette party for me and Kelsey. So I was just kind of sketching stuff around the property. They had a really beautiful strawberry plant where I was sitting when I did this. There were these cats that were like farm cats on the property that were obsessed with us and like following us around because I think they weren't used to people who actually like were nice to them and treated them like pets instead of like farm cats. And they had donkeys there. They were so sweet. Yeah, this is a sketch from the front of the cabin. Drawing of me and Kelsey. These are the stickers I was talking about. Oh yeah, and I also stuck them in here and then kind of like expanded on them, added more around them. Drawing of a picture that I liked of me and my friend Mick. And then I actually really like this. I love this picture. I don't love how I drew it, but This is a really cute side of the page. I like the way that I wanted to refresh myself on these markers that I hadn't used in a while, so I just like swatched them all, and then these trees are really cute. Something about this sparks something for me. I don't know what I'd do with it. I love these two colors together. So nice. This is the Beam Paint palette again. You probably recognize the color palette, but I think I was using maybe paint markers on top or something. I was experimenting with, yeah, these are the, I got this new set of pastel colored Poscas and I was layering them on top to see what would happen. This is my friend Kaylee of Kaylee Jade came over and she brought her oil pastels, which I had never really played with before, so I started by swatching all the colors and like playing around with them a little bit. Like, that was really fun. And then I did like a drawing of Penny that did not turn out very good, but it was really fun playing with a new, oh, I put that there just because the pastel like transfers, but it's fun playing with a new medium. And she actually got me a set of these for my birthday, so which I haven't even opened yet. I should do that. Play around with those. And that brings us back to where we started. I hope you have enjoyed this little sketchbook tour. I always love doing them. As you observed, I always like gather ideas from my own work and get re-inspired by flipping through my old sketchbooks. So if nothing else, I hope this video inspires you to go do that with your own sketchbooks, because I guarantee you there are some gems of ideas that past you has had that you should go and reap the benefits of. Thank you for taking this little journey with me. Thank you for watching all the way to the end of the video. There's so much content out there and you spent your time today watching mine, and that means so much to me. I hope you have the most wonderful day. I wish you all the best and I will see you in the next one. Love ya, bye bye.